Darcey want to go back and move back to Connecticut. Where the this is coming from? And she's being very hypocritical.
You were a sugar mama, and you knew this was going to happen.
Said he changed.
I told you this was going to happen, right?
Don't waste our good years. Don't waste our good years.
Actually, I'm wasting my good years.
Oh. Wow.
The last we saw Darcey and Georgi, Darcey, in front of their friends, was goading Georgi to get a divorce. Sadly, that, after this week's drama, looks more likely than ever. But, surprisingly, when we join Darcey in this episode, for once, it's not Georgi that's causing the tears.
Oh, God.
Nice acting there, real dramatic. Now, just because it's the onions causing the tears, that doesn't mean that Darcey isn't sad. She is. She's devastated at the state of her marriage. This can't continue the way it has been, she says. But I do regret what I said to him. I do regret in front of our friends telling him that if he's not happy, he should get a divorce.
I don't really want Georgi to file for divorce. It's just something that came out and I felt triggered. And, I want to break the ice so we can move past this. I still love him.
Now, Darcey's peace offering is to cook Georgi's favourite pasta. The pair make some very uncomfortable small talk. How was work today? Darcey asks her husband. And his response is, you never asked me that. What's going on? Now, eventually, Darcey just comes out with what she wants to say. We need to both take accountability and ownership of what we've done, she says, but I'll start. I'm sorry for the way that I left Bulgaria without you. That is a start, but it's not quite enough. Georgi wants more. Yes, he was hurt by that, but their problems run a lot deeper. He was also hurt by what she said at dinner the other night too. Plus, what she's saying now isn't anything new. He's heard it all before.
And I hear her apology, but she do this all the time. And this is not gonna fix our problems. So we need to see more action than words.
Now, Georgi is clearly still angry. But he says he still wants things to work out. He loves Darcey. He wants a future and a life with her. Both of them are in agreement that they want to get back to how things used to be, not even all that long ago. Back to how it was at the start of their trip in Bulgaria. And to that end, the pair of them make a big breakthrough by both reaffirming that they are committed to one another.
I've always been there for you and always want to be there for you.
I'll try my best to make you feel better. I don't like seeing you like that.
Now, while this is a positive step, while it is a breakthrough, unfortunately, it's going to take more than just that to get them both back on the same page. All these massive arguments have taken a toll on them both. It's getting harder and harder for them to both forgive and forget, to move on. Now, for the time being at least, there is an uneasy truce. Things are slightly better. And I guess that's good timing, because it just so happens Darcey and Stacey's clothing brand has been invited to be part of New York Fashion Week. Maybe you can help us, she says to Georgi. Remember the last time you were on the catwalk?
You came out fierce.
It's not easy to walk when you have a bit things between the legs.
Well, yeah, you were swaying. It was swaying.
They seem to be in much better spirits, which is good to see. They're even laughing and joking with each other. Now, the next time we see them, as they're on their way to the New York Fashion Show, they've decided to make a slight detour to Connecticut to first visit her dad and her daughters. And when they arrive at her dad's amazing home, while everyone is, of course, happy to be reunited again, her daughter's observations kind of catch Darcey off guard.
You look like a bowling ball that's fuzzy.
No, Mommy's a ball. I feel like I'm shrinking.
Oh my God.
Every time I see you guys get taller and taller, more beautiful.
A fuzzy bowling ball. I wouldn't exactly take that as a compliment, would you? Now, sadly, for as crazy as this might sound, a fuzzy bowling ball might just be the best thing she does get called on this trip. Both her dad and Georgi are going to say much, much worse. Still, for now at least, Darcey shakes that off and they all head over to the kitchen to make breakfast. And it's while making pancakes that Darcey, for the very first time, shares a plan she has with her family.
What if I would just put everything in storage and come back here for a little bit?
Where's here? Playroom!
Yeah, just like that, Darcey has dropped the bombshell that she wants to move back to Connecticut once their lease is over and move in with her dad. This is the first that Georgi is hearing of this plan. It's as much of a shock to him as it is to her dad and her daughters. Now, credit to him, Georgi maintains his composure. Like, he's shocked, he's angry, but he's determined not to let that show in front of her family.
Darcey wanna go back and move back to Connecticut. Where the this is coming from? And she's being very hypocritical.
I agree, it is very hypocritical on multiple counts. Like, not only is it her that's the one that's constantly harping on about the need to improve their communication, but she was also the one that completely lost it when Georgi mentioned the idea of perhaps one day buying a home near to his parents. Like, whatever way you look at it, it is pretty wild that she just sprung that on him and her family like that in that way. Now, thankfully, Georgi doesn't want a fight, and this time round, he won't need to, because someone else is also not on board with this idea.
But at this point in your life, in my life, we need to be separate, because it's not going to just be you. It's going to be Stacey and Florian right behind you.
Her dad makes it crystal clear. I love you, but that's not going to happen. You're not all going to come back to live or mooch off me. Now, the sad thing is, as we later reveal, and there have been clues dropped in previous seasons, but Darcey goes on to tell us her father is currently battling cancer. I guess that's probably a very large contributing factor for why she wants to be near to him. But that doesn't change the fact that she should have spoken to Georgi about this first. And although her dad may have put a quick stop to those plans, sadly, the damage has already been done.
We feel disrespected and my opinion doesn't matter to her. So I feel sometimes lonely in this marriage, most of the times.
Isn't it funny how both of them are doing exactly the same thing? Both are making plans for the future without the other. Like, they may be married, but they certainly aren't a team. Now, before too long, surprise, surprise, Stacey and Florian also arrive. But the twins' dad asks the girls for some alone time. He wants to speak to them privately.
I don't want to be in the middle of your business, but I think it's important as a father. You also need to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Okay. How is your relationship with Georgia?
Their dad clearly cares, and he listens patiently, while both Darcey and Stacey share the details of all the challenges that Darcey and Georgi have been going through. Now, he listens, he takes it all in, he's very patient and considered, but while he wants her to know he's there for her and he'll always love her, he also wants to deliver some cold, hard truth. Some tough love, if you will.
You're adults. You're old enough to manage your relationships. You have to learn not to take me into your conversations.
Yeah, as I'm sure you recall, Darcey told us in the last episode that when Georgi doesn't pay his share of the rent, she adds her dad to the conversation, be that through text message or email, and Georgi inevitably then falls into line. Now, her dad makes it clear he doesn't want to be involved like that. He doesn't want to fight her battles. You knew what you were getting into before marriage, he says to her. You made your bed. You need to lie in it.
You were a sugar mama, and you knew this was going to happen.
He said he changed.
I told you this was going to happen, right?
Her dad doesn't beat around the bush, does he? This is some real tough love that he's meeting out here. Like, he can clearly see, whether that's from the conversations that he's added to or the conversations that he's physically there for, that Darcey and Georgi's marriage isn't in a good place. Look, he says to her, me and your mum always used to argue as well. I'm sure you guys remember. We were both miserable until we divorced. I don't want you to fall into that same cycle. I don't want you and your husband to constantly fight and be miserable too. If you want your marriage to work, he says to her, you need to stop fighting and start communicating.
I don't know. I don't see him being in it for the long haul.
What do you think? Do you think he's in it
I hope so.
for life?
Tell the truth.
No.
This may be very difficult for Darcey to hear, but both her sister and her dad don't think that she and Georgie are on the same page. I don't think you have the same plans and dreams for your future, her dad says to her. I think Georgie has his own agenda. Now, the other problem is, it doesn't sound like Darcey's dad is super sure that she knows her own mind either. Like, how can they get on the same page if Darcey doesn't even know what she actually wants?
You gotta find out what he wants. But it's first and foremost, really understand what you want.
Amen.
Find out what you want.
So, with those wise words ringing in her ears, the twins and their husbands depart for New York and the fashion show. And it really doesn't take too long before Stacey decides that she's going to take it upon herself to confront Georgie with what her dad has just said. Our dad doesn't think that you're fully committed to my sister, she says. Is he right?
Are you in this marriage for the long haul, Georgie?
Yes.
That took an awfully long time to answer the question, didn't it? Now, Georgie reaffirms that he is fully committed to the marriage, otherwise I wouldn't have taken the time to introduce her to my parents in Bulgaria. But that's the thing, that's the difference between us, he says. My family only hear the good parts of our relationship, whereas your family, your dad, only hears the bad things. That colours how your dad sees me, he says. It doesn't help my relationship with your dad, and it doesn't help me and Darcey as a couple either.
So this is so disappointing because since was conversation with Darcey, I think we were better, but we're still not there yet.
And just like that, they're back to square one. Any progress that they'd made has all been wiped out again. Now, after having that difficult conversation with her dad and her sister, Darcey is obviously upset. She obviously has things playing on her mind, and immediately she goes on the attack. She, once again, goes right back to accusing Georgie of stashing his money away so that he has an emergency fund in case he ever wants to leave her. If that's your plan, she says to him, then just go. Stop wasting my time. But hearing this, Georgie isn't prepared to accept that. He immediately hits back, and he hits back where it hurts.
Don't waste our good years. Don't waste our good years.
Actually, I'm wasting my good years.
Oh. Wow.
Florian is like, oh damn, he went there, telling his much older wife that it's his good years that he's wasting. Her good years are behind her, by implication. Isn't exactly the best way to calm this situation down. It's sad, isn't it? These guys constantly take one step forward, two steps back, and that's not a recipe for a happy marriage. But you know what else doesn't help? Stacey getting involved too. Like, she was the one that initiated this fight today. It's funny, like, she went to the last resort complaining about her sister's role in her marriage. But isn't she just as guilty of interfering in Darcey's marriage too? Whatever the case, I really don't think that Georgie or Darcey can take much more of this. Like, at any point, any one of these fights could be the straw that breaks the camel's back.